30% off scratch and dent sales live right now. So I wanted to show you why it doesn't matter that much to buy a scratch and dent product, because this is a brand new scratch and dent product. But after years of use, this is what it looks like. I've had this for about a year and a half now, and this is the goal. You want your wallets to look like this. Look at all the scars and scratches, but how perfectly sheened it is. Buying a scratch and dent product, it's basically pre-patina as we're getting at, and you get 30% off, so check it out below, scratch and dent sale.
This is one sought after collaboration. I don't know if a day's gone by that people haven't been like, where's the collaboration? Where is it? Give it to us. Well, it's been 3 years in the working, and we finally have final prototypes. You know, we cut the original pair in half in 2022, and right after that, I got a little email from the one and only John Lofgren, and he's like, "Let's do it, bro." And I was like, "I'm down. Whatever you want, let's do it." And he's basically just been in Japan with the factory and like running samples basically for 3 years, because it's not a simple thing to recreate a historical boot almost identically. Because, you know, what John Lofgren does is I'll just pull them up. You know, there's like Whites, there's Nicks, there's these like $600, $700 brands, and then there's like the upper echelon. Like there's the Vibers, there's the John Lofgrens, there's the, I can't think of any other brands that are super high end. But, you know, his brand's up in that upper echelon. They make like a ton of like historical looking shoes that are inspired by, like, I love these donkey punchers. Like this is like a lace to toe that I love. We just unboxed, actually, one of his engineer boots. Oh, yeah, there you go. There's your M43 service boot. What really separates these upper echelons compared to like the high-end work boot brands is attention to detail. You know, they obsess over the stitch density, like the finishing, the edge dressing, like all this stuff that, like for me, I'm like, I don't really care. Here's a pair of work boots. These top tier brands, people care about that kind of stuff, and they want it to be like, and no boot's ever gonna be perfect, but it's a lot closer to like a really finely finished product than like the Pacific Northwest brands. So let's get to it. Because I think what I was saying is like, it's no small task to recreate a historical boot like this, because this construction is wild. That video has, from like 3 years ago, has like a few million views. And I still have not seen a boot that's built anywhere close to that. It's an interesting boot. So let's unbox it and see what the final prototypes look like, see how close they are to the original, and then when the collaboration drops, make sure on that limited edition email list so you get notified of like the sizing guide, all the information for when it drops. You'll want to be on that, and you get early access, more importantly. What knife? Higo no Kami knife. I feel like I had to do a Japanese knife for a Japanese made boot. This is the Naked and Famous version. Really cool little knives. 6th generation owned Japanese knife making company. A Japanese original. They came in boxes this time. Feels way more official. Because I did an unboxing of the very first pair probably like a year ago. I don't even think it's posted. So this might, actually probably, if it hasn't posted, it'll be posting before this one. So you probably just watched it. But a lot of times we'll record stuff and then sit on it for a while until it's time to actually launch the product or the collaboration. John Lofgren, bootmaker, made in Japan. Spirit craftsmanship. I like these boxes. This one we've got size 6.5. That must be a Japanese sizing. Let's hope. Because part of this is I wanted to figure out sizing. I wanted a couple of different sizes so I could really dial it in for you guys, because these are not gonna be cheap. They're gonna be expensive, and there's gonna be limited quantities, and who knows if we'll do more than one drop, because these are gonna be a pain in the butt to make. Anyway, enough rambling. Get to the unboxing. Let's do it. World War II Japanese boots. And these were the boots that like the soldiers wore. You know, they had tabby boots, they had like big, tall boots. But as far as I understand, these were like the standard issue boot that the majority of like ground forces had. And we recreated them almost identically. 100 years later. Almost 100 years later. Yes. Oh my gosh, look at that pig skin. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Ooh, that smells like really unique. It smells like bacon. Just kidding. It kind of smells like horsehide. Kind of has that like sweet kind of horsehide smell to it. It smells really good. But that is some stiff pigskin. These are going to be arguably like the hardest to break in collaboration that we've ever made. Because this tongue right here, like you can hear how leather doesn't squeak like that unless it's hard leather. So these will be a bear to break in. They're finished so, like the smoothness of this sole is insane. You see the pegs here, that like Blake stitch construction. You might think it's a Goodyear welt. We'll go over this in the main video. You can see this and be like, oh, it's a Goodyear welt construction. It's not. It's one of the weirdest constructed boots I've ever cut in half. Okay, let's open up the other box and we'll do some trying on and see how they fit. Product update with the boot breakers. So, after some feedback from you guys, this was our original boot breaker material, just some veg tan, but it's a little too smooth on top, and you know, after some wear, it'd get a little bit slippery. Some people liked it, some people didn't, but ultimately, we decided to go with slightly adjusted leather where we got a little bit of a buff top. So come on over here. So we still have our super thick 5mm insoles, but now you can see the difference between the old 5mm versus the new. Then we still have the 3mm. And the nice thing about these is they take up room inside your boots. So if you got a boot that's too big, or you want a shoe that feels more like a true heritage boot, you just throw one of these in there and it solves all your problem. They don't stink to this veg tan. It's not gonna feel as slippery, especially when you start sweating. It's gonna break in maybe just a little bit faster because this leather's a little bit softer than what we went with last time. And ultimately, I think it's just gonna improve the product. So appreciate your guys' feedback. Don't forget, we also have our regular foam boot breakers with the big thick mattresses in the green, the medium thickness in the blue, and the OG boot breakers at 2mm. These are the ones that really started this whole thing, where we just made a little insole you can slide in any heritage boot without changing the size. So it's just 2mm thick. Give you a little bit of squish, help you break in the boots, and you can keep them in the boots if you want. That's where the whole name boot breaker came from. So that's it for the product update. Product update. The crazy thing about this leather though, is it's hard to tell what the flesh side is and what's the grain side. Because you can see the pores on the outside here, you know? But on the inside, you can also see the pores. And so I'm pretty sure the outside is the grain and the inside is the flesh. But that's kind of the fun or the interesting thing about pigskin. Because even looking at this cross section, it has like one solid tight grain all the way through. Pigskin's pretty wild. Allegedly it's stronger in the thinner thicknesses than cowhide because it's a smaller animal, but the yield's smaller because it's a smaller animal. You gotta be more choosy with your pieces. Dang, these look good. Okay, let's unbox this other pair. Woo! Look at that. I love the stamps too on the outside here. And it's almost identical to the original. You've got this heel stitch, you got the double stitch at the backstay, you got the split pole loop here, you've got the really simple stitch line here, unlined, super simple construction, because that's the craziest thing about this entire boot to me, is it's about as simple of an upper as anyone's ever made. It's unlined, like 3 stitch lines, and the sole construction is nuts. It's so weird, and it's easier to explain when we cut it in half because there's no way I can do it without an actual visual. Vacuum's back on. Oh, it's back off. And the cool thing is John has been wanting to make this boot. You know, when I initially talked to John, he was like, I've always wanted to make this boot. It's like one of my favorite boots. I'm not sure if he actually said that. He for sure wanted to make the boot. He's like, I've always wanted to make that boot, but I just didn't know if the demand was high enough. And like, you know, we can do the American boots, like the M43 boot, like the Boondocker, and it worked actually well. But like, you know, it's a Japanese historical boot. It's cool, but like, I don't know how many people actually want to buy it. But with the help of the channel and you guys, it was enough to convince me, like, let's gamble on it. Let's do it. Let's try a batch of these and see if they sell. Because I think they will, because you're literally wearing a piece of history. I know it's kind of cheesy and I say it on a regular enough basis, but it is cool. Like, you get to feel what it was like to be at war in a pair of essentially dress shoes. You know, and obviously these don't have hobnails, but they would, if they were in the military, they'd throw hobnails in there and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I've got a 10D and a 10.5D. So I'm a 10 on the Brannock. So this will get us within striking distance for sure, I think. This tongue is not gonna be fun to break in. Fair warning, even before I put these on. If you buy a pair of these, be prepared for your instep to be beat to because it's gonna be a tough break-in. But that's half the fun. Like, it's the same thing, right? It's like this is a historical boot, and it just shows you like how tough it was for soldiers. Okay, size 10.5 first. It's pretty roomy. Oh, yeah, that tongue. I don't even know how to fold it, honestly. I don't know how to cinch it down even right now. I wonder if I fold it kind of like that. Oh, that hurts already. Okay, now let's try the 10. I think a 10 is going to be right on the mark. Okay, size 10. Let's see what's what. Oh yeah, that's the size. That's my size, 10. You could maybe go down to 9.5, but if you like a roomy fit, because my toe goes to there, like that's like the end of my big toe. Versus this boot, my toe goes to there. So it's like toe there versus toe there. So I would say go true to your Brannock size. We'll do a sizing video and give you all the resources and everything to figure it out. But my preliminary sizing, if you like a nice, normal, somewhat roomy fit, go true to your Brannock. If you want a more snug, tighter fit where you have a little pressure on your toes are a little closer to the end, you can go half a size down from Brannock. The initial sizing, just make sure you follow the full sizing guide when we get that released. But this will get you in the ballpark range. Because the nice thing too is, like, I'm gonna throw a little boot breaker in this. It's not just a shameless plug. I basically do it in every boot now. And it takes up just a little bit of room as I slobber on myself. I told you I want these boots. I'm slobbering over it. So huge shout out to John Lofgren, and their production crew. You know, being willing to take on a project like this. You know, will they even make money on it when it's all said and done? You know, it's like, this is a huge project, a lot of R&D, a lot of finding samples of different leathers, different pigskin, trying to find everything as true to the original as humanly possible, and they freaking nailed it. And like, on occasion, sometimes you just gotta let people cook. And this was like one of those collaborations where I was like, I just want it as true to the original as possible, because I think it'd be cool to wear a piece of history and have like one of the most unique, rare boots through the World War I and World War II that you can actually own, that's made at the top scale, what am I trying to say? It's made to the top shelf, I guess maybe what I was trying to get at. Made to the ultimate degree of quality through John Lofgren, made in Japan. Crazy. So thank you guys for supporting the collaborations. It's how we're able to do a lot of what we do, and especially with all the stuff we have planned this year. By the time you're watching this, it might already have another announcement announced. So stay tuned, it's gonna get fun. And if you haven't seen the original cut in half video, I'll link that below. And get ready for these, because I think they're gonna go quick. So thank you guys. See ya. How squeaky they are.